remembered I don't really like people seeing me eat, but who cares? So anyway, let's just talk about the backstory. So last year I just had some really rough times, and actually I've always been a bit depressed and anxious, and had multiple things happen throughout the past, and was diagnosed with ADHD when I was like 15 or 16, and was prescribed Renameme, which at the time I kind of rejected, and then, which is ridiculous because I found amphetamines, which is essentially the same substance as Renameme. But anyway, I turned my back on that, and in later years, as now an adult, I'm 38, I've had some really great things happen to me, and I've had some real opportunities that I feel like I've blown. You know, and what I might call like sober times, or times where I can think clearly. I've really wondered why I feel like I've been in a cloud at times, and done things and reacted spontaneously, blah 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 blah. Anyway, so now I've got to this point. Oh look, there's a ladybird. There's always little ladybirds. Oh, what the hell was I saying? Sorry, dude. Okay, I'm just going to have to put you down 1 minute. Right, let's start this again. Okay. So where am I at? I've decided to find out what there is out there to maybe help me understand how I can maybe control how ADHD affects me. Largely with me, through a lot of introspection, I've realised that I think it's largely cut there. Blinking heck am I talking about? Okay. So if I've got ADHD, it's resulted in loads of things in my life being not quite perfect, me just fucking up tiny little things, that's made things just not as good as they could be, and I really want to be a better person in life. That's like, I think I really respect that in people, and they have a passion to improve themselves, and you know, you've got to come to terms with stuff. Like, I've come to the terms with the fact that I'm just a little bit thick, basically. And I've got other things going for me, you know. I'm aware of that, but I'm a little bit, you know, I'm a bit of a dimwit. Tim, nice, but dimwit. But anyway, the major point is that I thought I would diarise this process because I feel like a little bit not disempowered, but it's a bit like humbling to kind of go, all right, fine, I've got a thing. All right, how are you going to help? Are you going to help me out with my addictions? Because that's essentially how it's manifested, I think. Like something like smoke, I've put it down to smoking. It's not a blame thing, but this maybe helped me kind of understand myself, and maybe have a little bit more respect for the evolution of our society and its acceptance of these things as a positive, potentially. So yeah, it's taken me ages and ages and ages to get round to making this video diary, and I intend to try my hardest, although yeah, this is like one of the names I've been called in my life is half a job, so I'm going to try and just log all of the important things of this process. So let me just put it into perspective. So I started off going to the doctor for anxiety and depression. This is something that's kind of come in and out of my life, and I've never really known whether it is a thing or not. But okay, checklist. Get a tripod, maybe a gimbally thing. That's just really for aesthetics. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to say. Oh yeah, what am I going to do? So this is what happened next. Is I was then given antidepressants. So I had sertraline and cytoplam. Anyway, I tried them both, and they both weren't just not my they didn't work. They just didn't work. I was just like, this is fundamentally not addressing what's going on with me. It's actually perpetuating what it was that was part of what was getting me down. And hold on. Yeah, so no, it was just making it worse. It was just making it worse. It was. And then I was like, okay. And I was speaking to a good friend of mine down the pub, who kind of like had the foresight to kind of see, I don't know, there must be some kind of similarity and conflict in my personality or something, or whatever. But it's nice anyway, and I kind of got inspired to follow the path of maybe seeing what help there is out there for me, because I've been so fucking useless at doing really like straight up stuff that I know I can do anyway. And I don't, you know, I want to get to the point. Basically, it's either I'm belligerent, privileged little shit. I'm just not I'm not channeling in the right direction my energy, which is probably the most likely, or haven't been. Maybe I now am, which is. And I've noticed good things are happening actually. So that's something else I'd like to keep on talking about, is how there's good stuff going on. Just in the process of realising, taking on some change. I mean, it might just be that who knows what I'm going to find out at the end of this journey. But essentially, I've got this form. Bear with me. Yeah, so I went to the doctor and I got this form. This is it. It says Adult ADHD Self-Report Scale. So I got this from the doctor. So this is like, apparently there's a massive waiting list to get on this thing. But anyway, yeah, it says Adult ADHD Self-Report Scale, ASRS, version 1.1, symptom checklist instructions. The questions on the back page are designed to stimulate dialogue between you and your patients and to help confirm if they may be suffering from the symptoms of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Okay, so sorry about the accent. I'm still serious about this. It's just, anyway, I can't help it. Blimmin' thespioid. So yeah, I've just been. See, this is a classic ADHD thing, is it? Let's find out. With forms and stuff, with things that are important, just putting it off. It's like, is it? Oh yeah, and you know the fingers. Is it schizophrenia? Right. Basically, or is it that I'm just completely and utterly freaking normal? And like experience hypernormal, beyond normal, deep normal, true normal. So yeah, this is a checklist. I have to go through and mark X's. I guess I might do this with you, if you're interested. I could read through the entire thing. This is obviously quite a personal process, but I think it would make sense for me if it was even worth following, for me to go through the symptom checklist. And if anybody in the world ever watches this video who is interested in the subject matter of ADHD and self-improvement, then maybe it could be useful as a reference. Who knows? I'd like to think so. But let's just think that maybe this vlog is actually going to encourage me to continue doing the thing that I've started doing. So in a way, whether it's ever watched by anyone or not, it doesn't really fucking matter, frankly. Yeah, yes. So, final checklist. Instructions for this thing, before I go through the things. There's a couple of things that it says. This is more instructions to whoever's checking the symptoms afterwards. But anyway, largely it says to consider work, school, social and family settings. It also says that they talk about the frequency, and that's because they're talking about the tick boxes. You'll see on the other side, tick boxes there, that kind of thing. Questions. So yeah, then I guess they're going to look at the frequency and then decide on what to start talking to you about. It also says, which is important, that you do not necessarily have to have been diagnosed with ADHD as a child. I mean, I was, but for them to acknowledge or to consider you as an adult, I think that's only fair, considering it's pretty new science in some ways, or just not new science, but new. It's only being recognised as maybe what it is now, officially. And then on the back page, it's just a little bit of blurb about the value of screening for adults with ADHD. So maybe before I go through the checklist, I'll just read those to you. And yeah, cool. Oh. Okay, so the value of screening for adults with ADHD. So I'll just read what it says, because it's what it says. And if it's boring or whatever, I won't mention it, and I won't mention the references, if that's cool, because it's just, you know. Research suggests that the symptoms of ADHD can persist into adulthood, having a significant impact on the relationships, careers, and even the personal safety of your patients who may suffer from it. Because this attribute is often misunderstood, channelable attribute. So like a unsculpted rock kind of thing. There's a car going by. Hold on. Like a fresh, unsculpted, virginous piece of green rock. Disorder is often misunderstood. Because this... Yeah, anyway, let's not get stuck on that in an endless loop. Many people who have it do not receive appropriate treatment and, as a result, may never reach their full potential. Well, that's exactly what I was talking about earlier. I feel like I haven't reached my full potential. Essentially, if there's anything I've heard people say all my freaking life is, "Oh, you got a lot of potential, lad." Aye. Okay. You may be wondering why I keep on changing location, and the truth of the matter is because I'm embarrassed to be vlogging. It's my first time. And there's other people who live around the place, and it's cool. I don't mind telling them I'm doing it, and I'm happy I'm doing it. But it just at the moment it's just about me and the camera. And anyway, so where was I? I was talking about the value that people now see, which is great actually, and it's an exciting time. It's an exciting time, and it's not like I'm going, please chuck loads of money at me. Although I quite would have liked the freaking computer that everyone else got back at school times, because really would have made some really cool stuff with that. But anyway, woulda, coulda, blooming didn't, and didn't go to university. I went to theatre school-ish, and went to the University of Life. Pretty hard. That was symbolic of stripes on my shoulder, and I've got this old joke going that it got so many stripes that it's just a block colour, and in fact there's another layer of stripes over it. But I'm telling you, that's only on one sleeve at the moment, so I've got to fill the other sleeve, and that's exactly what I'm doing with you guys right now, getting more stripes. So anyway, this is information now to a healthcare professional. It says, as a healthcare professional, you can use the ASRS version 1.1 as a tool to help Screen for ADHD in adult patients. Insights gained through this screening may suggest the need for a more in-depth clinical interview. The questions in the ASRS version 1.1 are consistent with DSM-IV criteria and address the manifestations of ADHD symptoms in adults. Content of the questionnaire also reflects the importance that DSM blah 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 IV places on symptoms, impairments and history for a correct diagnosis. The checklist takes about 5 minutes to complete and can provide information that is crucial to supplement the diagnostic process. Wow. Wowzers. I've just realised something, it's quite hilarious. I feel like I've been putting off something for months that apparently it will take 5 minutes. 5 minutes, apparently.